It's another beautiful day out here in Western Washington. We got a job to do today. Do that roof moss control. A little bit of drizzle, so we got to dress for success. This is a Helly Hansen rain thing. It's a little loose. You want to keep it nice and loose so you can move around. I know a lot of guys use those like crab fisherman ones that are like more snug, but that's more designed for like high wind and for like being on the boat of a crabbing deck. And if there's high winds, we're not going on a roof anyway. So we're just trying to keep the rain off of our clothes. And so I'm gonna go to the coffee shop right now, check in later. So number one most important tool is a ladder. I use an aluminum ladder because they're light, even though they are only registered for 225 pounds. I am about 260 and but it doesn't really matter. They're pretty they test them, they're fine. This thing works just fine. So I don't have a ladder rack, so I just strapped it straight to the, I don't really care about my roof because I got this car from the auction, but I just strap it straight to the roof. The number one ladder attachment you're going to need is a stabilizer bar. You can get these at any hardware store for around 45 or 50 bucks. They bolt right on there. You want to have the pads on there. These just fall off. But this, well, we'll show you, keeps a ladder off the gutters. So, as you can see, those stabilizer bars keeps you from having to lean anything directly onto the gutter. So you don't damage the gutter. And people do this all the time. Construction guys do this. They'll just put a ladder right on the gutter and the ladder will slide back and forth. It's not safe. This is the only way to go. So for the feet, we do not have extensions. Typically they have what they call level locks. I don't use level locks because I'm too good. But if you're doing, it's more for window cleaning and stuff like that. But you're at least gonna want to kick these out. If you're in grass, you can kick this out and stab into stuff. So you want to stab in there nice, and so you want to be nice and solid before you start running around on stuff. This is an extension pole. This attachment is a, I think it's designed for paint scraping, but I just got this at Harbor Freight to get a good one like this. They sell them at Lowe's and stuff like that, but those ones aren't really very good. But you can just try, they're about $5 or $6. Some of them are $15. That's a ripoff. Don't get the $15 one. But just go with that. And this is a locking extension pole. They have ones that twist. This one has a button that locks in, so that's what you're going to want to get. This is a long one. This is probably a 10 or 11 foot pole. So this is a bucket designed for window cleaning. I also do window cleaning, but I'm going to use this for gutter cleaning, just to put the debris in. I like the rectangle design because it doesn't fall off stuff as easily. And we're going to put this on the roof to kill some of their moss for them. These are the type of gloves you're going to need. These are like $2 at Harbor Freight, but they've got this cold weather, good articulation. So they got some spots of moss here, and you just lightly brush the affected areas. Now this is the type of moss. You don't want to brush too much. You're just trying to kill the moss. You're trying to agitate it so that it will accept the poison, because it starts you agitate the moss and it goes into a starvation, desperation, and starts trying to gain as much nutrients as possible. So the first thing you give it is poison, and then it should die. I'm doing this one-handed, but just to get you the idea. So you just go along, just kind of green, So we're not going to get all that green off, but it's going to look better. Also, best type of clothing to wear is Nike golf gear. This is a nice long sleeve. Helps the moisture move away without creating the smell. And your footwear, this is a Carhartt boot. When you're on a roof, this stuff gets just torn up. So even if you do get a $200 pair of shoes, it's not gonna last more than 2 seasons. You can see this thing's already getting shredded. See, you don't want to brush this too much because see, this is roof grit, and you don't want to brush. So, you know, if someone says, "Hey, I want you to get 100% of the moss off," it's like, well, that's not, you know, I can't brush. You know, might as well just get a new roof. But I mean, you just brush as much as just to agitate. I mean, some roofs you can. If it's big and bulky moss, and it pops right off, no problem. But this type of stuff, where it's integrated with the surface of the roof, just give it a couple of brushes, and then we're gonna throw some poison on it. So, the most dangerous thing on a roof is this right here. Because you'll be walking, and then it'll make you slip. You know, it's like how they moved megalithic blocks. Well, you're a megalithic block, and you're on a roof. So you gotta watch your footwork real close out here, or just blow all the stuff off first. There's not too much of it on here, but I just wanted to make a point. So we did some brushing on it. Now we're gonna give it a light blow and go from there. So, if they have a yard debris, you can open up the yard debris and put it right under the roof and dump stuff into it. But they just have pine needles everywhere, so I just right off the side. You could always use garbage bags too. So this is a downspout screen. They sell actual downspout screens for about $5 or $6, or you can just use a very small piece of chicken wire. Now you can get a whole roll of this for about $20 to $25. So you just take this and you put it at the top of their downspout so that nothing gets down there and their downspout will never clog. Now if you want to be an a-hole, you can charge people $5 or $6 per downspout to put those in there, but that's just something I throw in for free to all my repeat customers. If you've proven that you're a good customer, then I start giving you free hookups. So now that we have brushed all the affected areas, hand scooped out as much of their gutters as we can, disposed of the debris in a cleanly organized fashion, our next move is we're going to take the hand blower and we're going to blow through all their gutters now. So any of the little stuff that we left behind, we're just going to blow it out now. And then we're going to put some powder on the roof. And there we go, nice and dusted. As much as we can there. And the biggest thing with moss is prevention is, you know, once you get it down to this level, you want to get up here 4 times a year, you know, and dump poison on it. And because you don't want to be brushing your roof very often. All right, we're back here on the ground. Last thing we're going to want to do, take the blower and blow all around on their porches and walkways. Make sure everything looks nice. So we're back on the ground, put the ladders back up. Very first thing we do, change your shirt, towel all your sweat off, change your socks, change your undershirt. We don't want any sweat building up and accumulating. It's fucking gross. So we're all done. We got a $125 check. Had them leave the name blank because I don't have an ID, so I got to find someone to cash this for me. And I have charged them already for moss removal. So typically, it would be $125 just to do the gutters. But since I already charged them for moss removal last time, I'm kind of just doing continual maintenance for them for free, and just keep putting poison on there. I mean, that's the only way to really keep the moss off is you got to put poison on it 4 times a year.